I should have checked the internet, but it's not breaking up, so should be alright. It's already attached to the internet. Well, I bloody hope so anyway. Oh, doing another live. Hopefully I don't cut myself off. Oh. Can't zoom out. Check the other side. I'm in picture, but no, I can't zoom out. Can I go down a little bit more without a disaster? Maybe there. Oh. It says I'm live, but where's the chat stuff? What's this? Is this it? Live chat. Oh. Oh. Might still have to drop it. No, I'm good. Fermium's already been out a couple of times. Again, see if I can move it across slightly. Fermium's already been out, and every time, a couple of times, he's even jumped out the bedroom window. He's gone out along the windowsill and then jumped onto the I don't know what we call it, a portico or something, or where the front door is. It goes over this. Anyway, yeah, finally in the garden again. It's GMT, so I say early afternoon, haven't really checked, so it's probably going to be very early morning in the US. I could have done the video a bit later, but I didn't really, because I wanted to get it done with. Basically, I've already had some pasta with some chicken and a little bit of sauce earlier, just penne pasta, so I've already eaten. Yeah, so as you can see, we've made advances in the greenhouse, and Tony P has been here the last week or so, and I've tried to be here as much during the morning as well, during the day, to supervise the work. And the last 2 weeks I've been scouring the streets, just looking for more of the timber. The entire of the main frame is completely made of reclaimed wood, plus other odds and sods of timber. But it's all 2 by 2 inch estate agent pole timber, basically. The majority of it, apart from a couple of 1 by 2 or less than 1 by 2, and there's one at the bottom here that's a bit more chunky, which is more like a 3 by 2 or something like that. So the majority is basically the same kind of wood, and we made estimations that we've got at least 70 feet of reclaimed timber that I've just gone out onto the streets and brought back myself. basically. And we have found more. There's one down the side of the stairs next to the stair lift, not forgot about, and I've got 2 or 3 more. So we've now got 4 more over there. Fermium's upstairs, he's already been out and done quite a bit of work. It's basically me keeping an eye on Tony P as he does what he needs to do. And basically, hello Robert Frary. Basically, the majority of the slats that have gone down, a lot of them are screwed in now. A lot of the slats, so we've got the west end, the east end, and we've got some high up here, which is likely going to be more lighter weight stuff like stock trays, stock plants, something like that, smaller plants, because the wood in the middle is it's a bit thinner and wider, so they're not going to be able to take so much weight. Robert Frary, great to have you on board. Yeah, and we may still have 2 small mini shelves low down either side, because we've got an area that we can sort of, hello, we've got about that much. We may be able to just put the 1 piece of timber either side at the bottom, make a little rectangular frame, and then put more slats on the top. So as you come in, we will have 1 little shelf either side low down. Also, have to see, I'd like it if Tony can make the single Gothic style cupboard, because I managed to find some Gothic style. They're still modern, they're probably in the 90s, 80s in date. And I found a lot of timber doors, but where I found them, like I said in the previous video a while back, they literally ripped all these doors off of this kitchen dresser, and it was tragic, but I managed to salvage 3 of them. So basically I've got this Gothic style wood. Now what I'm hoping to do is I have 1 of these each side. So we've got these here. We've got these pieces of Gothic cupboard door wood. Now these will probably go either side, and then I've got a glass one, and the glass one will go in the middle, and hopefully there'll be a hinge on it, so we'll have a very small, it'll be good enough. We'll have a small cupboard on the east end. May have to put another horizontal brace at the bottom on the front. That hasn't been done yet. So we got these. This one is seriously damaged. It's going to need a lot of wood filler, and even that wood filler might shrink over time. I noticed that we've got a piece of wood here missing. Hope I can find that. Better find that. But this is the most complete one anyway. And then we got the glass one. So we got the glass one, and this will likely be hinged. We'll put hinges on this, and this will be the door of the cupboard basically. So a nice Gothic Victorian style cupboard, even though it's modern wood. to go with the greenhouse. I've also got other timber. This is just a little sample, really. These are off the same dresser, basically. We've got these little bits of, again, valenced type wood. It's pretty cheap, but we got a bigger one, a much longer section, if I can find it. Oh, here we go. They got this really long piece. Oh, look at that. We've got this really, it's very lightweight, as you can see right there. A piece is broken off. So I'm probably going to have Tony cut another couple of pieces off the others, take this broken one out and join it up again, because it's not quite long enough to go up there on top of the internal brace bar. I wanted to put it inside the greenhouse rather than have all the metal on top of the greenhouse, because normally this style of greenhouse, it comes with all the spikes on the top. I told them that I didn't want all the spikes on the top, and luckily I found this. And I thought, well, we've got an internal brace at the top of the frame. It would be nice to have this actually inside the greenhouse as opposed to on top of it. So we've got all the wood. It's just a case of sort of chopping up little bits and adding to it, basically, the length of it. Hopefully it's not too wide. Should be alright. But I'll put this back now, this big one. Hopefully that'll get done soon. Also got these old brass fittings. This is basically an old coat hanger, and it's got 3 hooks on it. It's rounded the other end. I'm not sure of the age of it. I'm probably saying it's 1920s to 1940s, my guess. And it's got 3 holes and 3 hooks. It's probably made of copper or brass, and this will be going underneath the brace up the top, and this will just be for jackets, wet jackets. If I've been out and it's been raining and I had to duck into the greenhouse and take my jacket off, this hook will go underneath that bar. And we've also got a single hook, same age, that I found. It's an old one again, probably 20s or 30s, 40s, and that will likely go at the back on the left, and I'll probably hang the hurricane lamp off of that. So I've got the old hurricane lamp, and that is an old style hurricane lamp. No laughing, that is the older style hurricane lamp. And basically that will be hooked up at the back on the left, I should imagine. And them 2 hooks, they basically came from the railway park at Blackhawks Lane. This was before I started bottle hunting, bottle digging. Basically, my mother used to work in an office in the 80s and 90s at Black Horse Lane, and it was by the railway. Basically, where her office was much higher. It's about 12 foot up, and there was a brick wall. And if you look over the brick wall, you're literally looking over onto the railway. And I thought about 2013, 14, I wonder what they've been throwing over the wall all them years. And I decided I'd have a sniff about it. It was now the railway park, and I started doing my first bottle hunting digs there basically, and it was relics as well. I found quite a lot of brass relics, hooks, hinges, all kinds of stuff. I found an old tram driver's badge from who knows, Henry, who knows how old it was, but this tram driver's badge was from the Swansea and Mumbles Railway in Wales, 170 on it, and when I dug it up it still had the little brass popper and a little bit of the leather strap still attached to it, and paint around the number in the middle, red paint. Of course, when it touched the air and dried out, all that paint crumbled away to nothing. So I ended up having to get a Uni-Posca pen and just fill in where the paint was missing. So as well as them two hooks, other brass items, I found that tram driver's badge, I found various bottles, I found marbles, I found coins, I found all sorts over the wall. So that was probably the first bottle hunting that I had done. Henry Nelson, great to have you on board. I'm finally doing an update on the garden and the greenhouse. Have a look at these items. There likely was a metal box, but it completely rotted away, and I think there was a railway sleeper on top of it, a railway tie on top of it. Yeah, it's coming on very well, Henry. Just a few more of these wooden slats to be fixed now. Tony's got to come back early next week and finish finalising the slats. And I think what we might do on the bottom level, we may put some beading around the outside, just some light cheap beading, just to hold everything in place on the bottom level, make it look a bit nicer. I've got this old money box if I can get into it. There's no money in it, but it's just full of loads of old brass and stuff. And this was the same place that I found the two hooks basically, so the hooks as well, a tram driver's badge, and there was a bulb, two-ended bulb for one of the in-car lights, you know, you switch it on and off. And basically I attached that to a 9-volt battery and it lit straight up, it lit up. So we've got all these bits of brass in here. I'm not really sure what that's for, but it's sort of like a hinge. And we've got what looks to be the end of a tap or something drink related, I'm not sure. Another brass tap, a little one. Picture hook, cross-shaped picture hook. And there's a couple of other little hooks in there as well. The windows, we got two windows on top of the greenhouse and Tony fixed one. It wasn't sort of threaded in that you can adjust it. You have to screw it in, and then you can adjust it, and it very slowly moves up and down. Tony done that one, and I've only just done the one in this corner because you've got one there and one the other side, and I've just done that one, and oh my god, at an angle like this, and I was just aching, but I managed to do it. And we've already had about 4 bees in here. We've had 3 hoverflies and a bumblebee stuck in it that I've had to try and get out. But yeah, at least we've got a bit of airflow here now. We've got this other piece of random wood, but I don't know if it's going to get used or not. Is there anything else in here? Oh yeah. Yeah, I know I don't use my muscles nearly enough, Henry, not at all. We managed to finally get into the shed and have a good look at the shed. We found a few interesting items in there, but what we did find, I didn't even know we had these, or if we did have them, I forgot about them, but we have these 4 wooden chairs, these green wooden chairs. We got 4 of them. And unlike the lighter brown foldable ones that we used upstairs, these are a lot chunkier, stronger, and if anything, I think they're a lot more comfortable. And the back is sort of curved in. You can see that there's a bit of a curve in the back area. Even though it's lower, it's a bit more therapeutic. I think it just needs a bit of oil. We'll get all these chairs and we'll just oil them up. So there's one there. And another one here. So this is 2 of the 4 chairs. And I think they just need a good clean, basically. And then a bit of oil, and they'll be well away. They'll be lovely. We've got louvers in the back as well. A lot of greenhouses had louvers back in the day, and in the 70s, 80s and before, you'd have louvers. They go up and down. They were very popular at the time, and greenhouses often had them. But I think what I'll do now, I'll pick up the camera and we'll properly show some stuff off close up. A lot has happened here. A lot of stuff's been moved around, found, tidied, moved, all over the place. So we'll pick it up and hopefully swap the camera around without turning it off by accident. Right, we're off the tripod now. What we'll probably do is check out what's actually happened. It's looking a little bit different now. Right, now I'll take a proper look at it. There we are. You can see that these have all been screwed down now. These have been done. The frame was actually a slightly darker olive green. I preferred it darker, but Tony wanted it lighter. See, again, these have been screwed down both ends, so they've already been stained. Again, these have been completely done. So the west end at the bottom, they've all been done. There's Fermium and Mechites Bickies there. The top, again, apart from this longer one, these have all been screwed down as well. That one hasn't. We've still got something moving here. Again, the top, that's been screwed down. These little ones, all the little ones have been done. These have just been weighted, and basically these are different pieces of wood and they're a bit thinner. So, and likely not as strong, so in the middle at the back is probably going to be stock trays. Basically you have trays and they'll write stock on them, and they're going to be smaller plants, basically collection plants. And then here again, one hasn't been done, but all the others have basically been screwed down. Yeah, these have been screwed down. Shut that a minute. And here again, apart from this one here, the majority of all the slats have been done now. And the other side, east end, these have all been completed. We've got some spare timber here, different timber. So these have basically all been done. May end up with a couple of extra pieces here. You see he's got one at the end. We may find another one to go in this gap here. And as I was saying earlier, we may actually put some smaller ones just here. So basically have a post going down to the floor here, and a small frame, rectangular frame attached to this one here, and then we might end up having a little one of these down there as well, and one the other side too. So we'll have a couple of smaller shelves going around these main posts. See, there's a few plants here, not many. I just brought 4 plants, maybe 5. But yeah, it's coming on well. This barrel, this was the barrel I had in the greenhouse before, and it was leaking, then it stopped leaking, and then it started leaking again. Basically what I've done, I've gone round the bottom, all around the outside with black mastic or silicone, and I've done the same inside around the edge, and then I basically wire brushed the whole barrel, wire brushed it, and then I had sandpaper, coarse grade sandpaper, and then a finer grade sandpaper, and then basically that's ready for staining and maybe varnishing. We'll have to see. I may well do that myself, or maybe oil, linseed oil. I've got some linseed oil as well. So this barrel is being restored anyway, and there's the tap on it. I'm just hoping that it stops leaking, otherwise it's all for nothing really. So that's the barrel. Oh, oil, yeah, I've got linseed oil here, so we may use the linseed oil. We'll have to see what happens. We've got that. This table was basically being used from the go for Tony's workbench, laying out all the timber between that and the barrel and cutting. Yeah, and then the other day it literally broke. This one went right down, so he had to repair it underneath. And then we found this workmate in the shed, a good strong heavy workmate bench, old school workmate bench. So we're basically using the 2 of these now rather than the top of the barrel. So that was a lucky find. That was right in the back of the shed. You can see that it's mainly clear here now, and I put some trellis up, a couple of bits of trellis. Well, this is a piece of trellis and a piece of pallet wood, and then I just cable tied it for now. I've got cable ties here, and I've got this. It's basically to keep it up against the wall. There's another one in the corner. It basically keeps it up against the wall. So at least this corner is sort of secure now. All we have now is just the timber at the back. I'll plant fern in the middle there. Couple of watering cans. We've got a couple of watering cans there. This was basically a lot of the tools that were dragged out of the shed before Tony organised it. So we've got a lot of tools here. Some of them are multiples. We need to make a decision what we're keeping and what we're not keeping. We've got forks, shovels, spades, saws, and this slab or compactor. We've got this big compactor. There's even a coal shovel. We found a coal shovel, springbok rake, centre shears, side shears, all kinds of stuff. So the shed has been organised a lot better now. As you can see, we've got 4 more pieces of this wood. We've got 4 more pieces of this wood that can be used later. And there's this shelf. We found this shelf which has got brackets on it. I keep kicking this stuff. Yeah. And this is basically another bed that I made up. You may have seen the video when I put them square blocks. I put these square blocks in, and then I filled these chimney pots with compost and sowed some seeds in there. So we've got night scented stock. That's a sweet chestnut. And yeah, so this was a new bed, and I'm keeping on watering it. I put beans here. I put broad beans here, and I really need these beans to come up. There's one of them seems to be cracking open, but I would have liked it if they come up a bit quicker than that. But we've got a bit of a border here. I've put some onions here. There's a few onions, there's not many, I'm afraid. I will have to water them again. I'll have to keep watering this. But we've got a few onions in this corner. Oh yeah, I forgot this stained glass window, the one at the back, that will be going up there. See where the 2 columns are, here and here. And on that top shelf level, that window's going to be going up there in the east, so that looked really nice. And then with the Gothic cupboard at the bottom as well, that'll be a treat. And all the wood going, the valencing going along the top of that support bar. It's just little fineries. The majority has been done now. And Tony found 2 more pieces of stained glass, and they go together basically. We know which is upright because we've got the Lookout Neighbourhood Watch meerkats from the 90s or 2000s, a sticker on it. So I think it's a Victorian or Edwardian interpretation of the sky and the sun, because it's all blue and yellow. So we may use that, but if we completely rebuild the shed, we may actually rebuild the shed completely. I'm not sure. this corner, all this stuff used to be here. All these pots and all this junk here all used to be against this wall in here, and basically I went through all of these pots, organised them, and then put them over here. So for now, all these pots have been put in a more organised manner anyway. Troughs, we got the troughs. Yeah, it's a lot more tidier and organised. We got the recycle bins, we got pots, tree pots, terracotta pots. That's the Croydon Tramlink thermite welder. So yeah, it's a lot better in now. It's a lot more organised. Strawberries probably need a bit of water really, but they are still alive. Be nice to see if we get more strawberries without the rats and mice nibbling at them. We'll have to see, but that's what I done last year. Right, so yeah, I can't zoom out sadly. But as you can see, it's a lot tidier here, a lot tidier both sides. And here, of course, quite a lot of stuff was thrown out the front. So yet again, we are building up a load of rubbish out the front. Well, it's bound to happen. We keep finding more and more and more stuff, and stuff we don't need, rubbish, even digging bits up out the ground, and basically this corner's filling up again, so will have to be removed in the future, but at least it's organised. Early this year I'd done a load of cutting back, and it just sat around here for quite some time, and I finally got round to cutting it all up yesterday or the day before, and I filled this yellow jumbo bag with it, so at least it's in the bag now and I can easily put more into it. But it's looking a lot tidier now. We've got this ground back again, and I've sort of shifted all the spruce mulchings about again, got the right gradients, and I found this pallet, and the condition is so good that may not break it up. I'll have a word with Tone, we might actually use it for something else, but found this pallet and it's very good quality, very new. And yesterday or the day before, I planted this apple tree. I would have preferred a second birch tree, to be honest, but this one basically clinging on to life, and it's an apple called Spartan. And when I scratched the bark, there was green there. So, well, prayers for this one is in the ground. I dug a good enough deep hole. I mean, hopefully it will survive. But yeah, it is a bit of a lack of light in this area, but it should be alright. So long as it breaks bud and leaves up, we should be good. It should survive. But I would have liked a second birch, because this one here, as you can see, this birch that I planted, it finally broke out into leaf, and I'm so glad, because the stems were so fine that I could hardly believe it was a living tree. But when it finally broke into leaf, I sighed relief, I really did. So yeah, this birch is looking good. I planted a load of seeds, grass seeds, mustard seeds, calendula, flax seeds, I planted Nigella. Only one of the industrial hemp came up. I had about 6 seeds and only one of them came up. Oh, I would have liked more, but again, I've got to keep watering this, so hopefully these seeds come up. And there should be wildflowers or flowers around the base of this birch. You can, yeah, it's okay, Robert. It's okay, Robert. And you can see that I've added a load of more bark mulch. Bark mulch has come in. This Acer campestre field maple was in that pot, and basically I moved it into the bigger pot, so it's got a lot more room to grow. And this cherry was in the Thermite, the Tramlit Thermite pot, the blue one, the metal one, and that's been moved into a bigger pot, so they're both in bigger pots now. So yeah, again, these trees need watering. Acer saccharinum, silverleaf maple, these all need watering again. This one is starting to break into leaf, Acer saccharinum. You can see this clematis is off again as well. Again, another plant. You'd be surprised how they all need water all the time. So that's one clematis. And the other one up there, got to keep an eye on that and keep that watered too. This morning I just went through this and weeded this. Again, this needs watering. What's this? Landcress. You can actually eat landcress. It is edible. But yeah, I just went through this and weeded it. Apart from this goose grass, I haven't removed that. We had daffodils earlier in the season. We had quite a few daffodils, but the majority have finished now. Yeah, I'm going to do more, bringing more edibles in and herbs and stuff like that. That's a nice double. We got red dead nettle. We got red dead nettle there. Yeah. We got daisies. We got forget-me-nots. You can see the forget-me-nots. Dandelions. The whole of the dandelion plant is literally edible. Another double daffodil. Another double. More tulips, these pink tulips. This, yeah, tasty. We got the Acer palmatum baihu, and again another tree that I was worried wouldn't wake up, and it did. So I'm thankful that this Acer palmatum has leafed up as well. Lots and lots of forget-me-nots here. Lots of forget-me-nots. Aquilegia or columbine, Aquilegia. We'll leave it at that. We've got one of these mustard plants. I don't think it's rapeseed, it's some kind of mustard. It's the only one that came back. White dead nettle. We got white dead nettle. So we got red dead nettle and white dead nettle. Herb Robert. You can see we've still got the Herb Robert. I've used that in teas. I've picked the leaves and put it in teas, herbal teas. That's geranium family, Herb Robert. So yeah, it's nice that we've got some white dead nettle as well as the red dead nettle. Look at these lovely dandelions. You can see the red dead nettle, lots of red flowers. So you've got red and white. Primrose, we've got primrose here with what looks like a vetch in the middle of it. Again, these things need watering and I've not been able to do the smaller plants. Cowslip, we've got cowslip. I think the insects have been chewing at the flowers though. But the majority of the daffodils are finished now. Muscari, grape hyacinth, the blue one. We got white one as well. And we got a bigger, more double type, which will be later, coming up later. I'm not entirely sure what this is, or that over there. We'll have to see what they turn into. We've also got clover around as well. We've got quite a bit of clover. Hang on, I'll put this back up here. Clover here and there. You can see the Valerian faux. This is Valerian family, but it's not the green one with the pink or white flowers. It's a yellow variety. It starts yellow and then eventually it will turn more dark green. So it's Valerian faux, PHU, faux. Feverfew. So we've got faux and few next to each other. And this Picea conica glauca seems to be doing well. It's only a small one. I got this post, but the problem is it was so heavy, this concrete post, I could barely get it in the gate, and because it's solid and rigid on the sack barrow, I tried to get it in the gate post, I ended up snapping the neck off, so I got a big crack all the way round. I might have to drill into the concrete either side, put a metal rod or a copper pipe in, put it back and then try and cement it, try and repair it again somehow, but that's long in the future. And I didn't mention that this actual area, but I'm hoping that all these ferns will come back, because this is all ferns, standard ferns, and this should fill this corner quite nicely with green ferns. I literally cleared all of this area of rubble, crap, pots, all kinds of stuff. I found another one of them green tiles as well. The Portuguese tile was sitting there in the garden L. But it's nice and tidy here now. Oh. But it's just a case of wood chip, bringing more wood chip, keeping it nice and thick. You see, I've added more and more wood chip around. This is the eelworms and the robin, the bird, the robin. He has been around and he's been taking the eelworms. He seems to like them. I've eaten them myself. They're a bit like Marmite chicken. And the water bowl, I've done the water bowl for the robin as well. Oh dear, that needs topping up. So yeah, the robin, he likes eating that. It's a lot tidier than it was. I haven't utilised these yet, sadly. I won't be getting, well, I don't know, we'll have to see what happens, how clear we keep this area here. If we can clear this area, I might add some more wood chip to this side. The pink flamingo, the Acer Pennsylvanicum Cross pink flamingo, it was at the tram stop for about 3 years, but unfortunately since the beginning of this year someone was gradually snapping one branch off, one branch off, one branch off. They wanted to eventually destroy it. They're really pushing it with the psyop shit, you know. They wanted to destroy it, and then I got to the point where I thought I can't leave this tree there anymore because they're eventually going to ruin it. And I dug it up and I moved it here. It's a shame. I wanted to do something for the community, and it's not the same as 1998-99 when I planted the last one. The last one is literally 25 foot tall now, but this one I've had to move it back here, and I put a little bit of mum and dad's ashes around the base as well, which is sad. And that wasn't it. I left the collar and the stake there, and over the week after I took it out, they were still abusing the collar and the stake. So obviously this person, he was sore that I took his destruction away from him, and they were throwing this thing around in the bush and all over the place. They didn't get their fix, I'm afraid. The potatoes are coming up, so you see that I've planted potatoes here and they are coming up now. We've got various potatoes coming up. There's one here as well, and 2 went in late, so there's going to be 2 that are a bit late, so there's potatoes in here. Strawberries, we've got the strawberries, not many. Cuttings of my father's grape, black Homburg grape. I don't think they'll come to anything, we'll have to see. And maybe a few more tiny little onions, again may not come to anything, too small, not enough room. I was hoping, oh, we got one. A sweet pea is coming up. You can't see it, but there's actually one solitary sweet pea coming up. I planted a load of sweet peas in there. No, there's 2. Oh, I can't, there we are, tiny little green sprig. Where is it? There's 2 of them. So finally these sweet peas are coming up. Oh, finally. I've got more potatoes in here as well. Yeah. Yeah. 3. There may have been 3. I can see 2, but sweet peas were my mother's favourite flower. We've got mint. Again, another Tramlink track welding thermite pot. And there, I'll put the mint in here. I think is it spearmint? No, just like normal mint. And we've got another mint here. And one here, so we've literally got 3 different pots of mint now because I split it up. Got 3 lots of mint. And the oregano has come back, and it's proper filled the pot up. And that's the oregano. Pungent. Last year this lavender, I planted it, it kicked off, and then the tips died. I went yellow, they didn't really do anything. And I put a load of compost and chalk in. Remember, I went to the quarry in Walling and Whiteleaf, I got a load of chalk and soil. And this year it looks to be a lot stronger. It may even flower. You can see the lavender. Hopefully it'll be much better now. It looks healthier. Again, you need to keep watering these things. Hornbeam. This is the basically a bonsai, a hornbeam bonsai, and it's looking quite happy. Nettles, we've got stinging nettles in the pot. Stinging nettles and more herb Robert. Herbage. We're a bit low on compost. This is the only recycle bin I have that's got compost in it. And again, onions. I've put onions in. I've got no choice. I've had to put onions because I got them and they need to be planted. And a parsley that may or may not come to anything. I need to get more compost and fill up pots and get new parsley for this season. But yes, a lot of work has been done here. It's looking a lot more organised and tidy, but we've still got a lot of stuff centrally in the garden. This is too heavy. This should be out the front in the corner. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it was a bit of a job to get around here in the beginning. Yeah, and this has to go out the front at some point, so we will get this little spot back as well. This is rubbish. Crock, basically crocks. Even this pot is cracked there, big chip taken out of it. We may or may not keep this, probably end up breaking it up, I'm not sure. But this is just more rubbish basically to go. This is a piece of one of the roof tiles basically. Again, another plant that hasn't been watered because I couldn't access it. It's a hart's tongue fern that needs watering badly. Yes, I need to get rid of that. Maybe get rid of that big pot there. I've got to find the WD-40 again. It's in the shed, I think, and then go over this bicycle chain and bits with the WD-40 again. Maybe try and get that back wheel and the chain going. This was my father's old bicycle from the early, well, it must be 90s. It's definitely the 90s, early 90s, mid 90s. Townsend graphite. It may well work, but the chain's knackered. Maybe the gears are too seized up. So you've got a load of stuff here, load of pieces of wood. There's a couple of saws, a knackered butter knife, and the compost is in there basically. So that's the compost bin at the moment. I normally store these in the wall, to be honest. We've got these little pigeonholes, and I normally store them in the pigeonholes in the wall. Incinerator. I haven't really had a chance to use it yet. There's another piece of that valencing wood. Again, you can see that I've been in here and I've done a lot of tidying up, because when we empty the shed or supplies and materials for the shed, if we rebuild the shed, it's all going to have to go here, this area, and little bits and offcuts. This is going to be basically be reinstated. This end will probably get cut off, but we're probably going to reinstate this piece of wood up the top here, and then the stained glass window goes in here. You can see where Tony literally had to cut it lengthways with a saw, and that must have been no mean feat to cut that right down the length, because it was double the thickness of that, and he literally cut the back off of it. So this will eventually be going up the top, and then that stained glass window goes in the middle. And these are basically offcuts of wood that may or may not be used in the future. There might be, but they're a bit small. Oh, so yeah, quite a lot has been done, to be honest. Some days I've had energy, some days I haven't, but more in general I have been feeling slightly better. It may be just the weather, you know. We've had at least a month's worth of sun here in UK and London. I've never known anything like it, but March came in like a line basically, and that means sunny. As far as we say, March came in like a lion and it was sunny, and it's been like this. Yeah, it's been like this for at least a month. We've had a month of sun, and it's not been too hot. It's been quite comfortable, and it's been quite nice to work in it. It's been blue for quite some time. The moon is just up there, smack in the middle. So we've got the sun and the moon in the sky at the moment. Funny how the phone eradicates a lot of that horrible haze in the sky. Seems to get through a lot of it, but as you can see, not a cloud in the sky, just the high hazy muck. I think that's about it, really. These 4 tyres, not even considered reusing these tyres. I had potatoes in them last year, but I can't really reach them. I've not done anything with them. This is full of wood. It's too damp to start a fire. I tried to fire up the ghillie kettle with this wood, and it was a complete nightmare. It was too damp, and it's full of slaters and wood lice. So somehow I've got to figure out how to dry all these little bits of wood off. Another compost bin, but there's nothing in it, it's empty. But yeah, we've made a lot of progress, and we've tidied up a lot. I think that is about it, to be honest. Unfortunately, I can't put these back in the greenhouse because all the slats from the shelf, and it basically cuts it in half. It was on the other side of here, and I can't hang them inside the greenhouse now. That is about it. So one side. Hopefully we'll be able to have a nice Gothic cupboard in here at the bottom. But as I said, it means we might have to put another piece of timber here going across, because that way, there you go. As you can see, if we've got a piece of timber at the bottom and at the top something around the edges, it'll make a good cupboard. That and then we just got to figure out what's going on the top. I don't think we'll have any more spare of this to go on the top. I don't think so, but hopefully we'll have the cupboard down there. And the window up here, the stained glass window. And the 9 graffiti is literally stuck there for posteriority now. It's literally going nowhere. It's protected. It's on this side of the fence, and the greenhouse is in front of it. So it is basically trapped now on the fence behind the greenhouse. It's going nowhere. And then nice chairs, remember. I don't, well, the spindle bush is breaking into leaf now. I'd done some light cutting of a few branches on it, not many though. I mainly cut back the crabapple in the corner. See, we've got the crabapple. I cut a lot off that crabapple, not the spindle. But I'm thinking I might name the garden centre. So I might name the garden area, sorry. This area, the garden, the greenhouse, the shed, I'm probably going to name it the Spindles, or the Spindle, because this is basically my new ancestral tree now. I used to have a Stag's-horn sumac here until 1987, and it came down in hurricane. I planted these in 1999, 2000, the spindle, crabapple. There used to be a hawthorn and a birch, but he took 2 of them out. But I'm likely going to call the garden the Spindles. See if I can make a sign up. That would be nice. And the unusual thing is, I was at the front working in Linda's front garden. There's a lot of dead branches here. All this, I cut this back, it was all dead and blocking this area. And this is a ribes flowering currant basically. I don't know if I can cut it back a bit harder at the end of the season, maybe. It's still alive, but it's looking much happier for me cutting it back. But the unusual thing is, found this lost in there. It's another spindle. Yes, it's another Euonymus europaeus. Look at that, another one. So somehow a seed has gone from the back garden with the big one, it's made its way out here and germinated here. So we've got one out the back, and we've got this little one in Linda's garden out front. Yeah, I've already done it, but the thing is, it's been left for quite some time, so it's quite tall, but it should fill up eventually. Hermine! Hello, Hermine Schaefer. Yeah, just showing off this spindle that discovered at the front of my neighbour's garden. So we got more than one, so that will work with me naming the gardenelle the Spindles, the area the Spindles. And this is dogwood. Yeah, I've put these dogwood in as well, Midwinter Fire, Cornus Midwinter Fire. Now it's at the allotment, so I thought I'll get some and plant it here as well. So that's Cornus Midwinter Fire, just little plants of it. And I'll put one in the front garden as well. There we are, look. Here we've got Cornus Midwinter Fire. They've taken well, very well, easily. You can see them here. And they got very similar stem colour to that new Acer Palmatum Baihu that I got there. So hopefully when both are a lot bigger, the stems will look similar, but not necessarily the plants. So we'll have the Cornus Midwinter Fire and the Acer Palmatum Baihu. Yeah, the dandelions. Yeah. There's your bumble on white dead nettle. There we go, look. Nice happy bumble with white dead nettle, red dead nettle, daisies and forget-me-nots. And this white dead nettle is much larger than it was last year. Much larger plant. There's a bumble lost in there somewhere. There he is, look. He's very happy. That's what it's all about, the insects. But yes, there's quite a few dandelions, hermine. It's just having them seed everywhere is a little bit. Yeah, the neighbour's bunny, yeah, rabbit food. The birches finally leafed up now. I was a bit worried about the birch, but it broke open, which is good. Another marjoram in the pot, wallflower. We got the blackcurrant here, and you can see flowers on the blackcurrant. Although it's not the biggest plant, it's not been in there long, so the mint has advanced underground, and now the mint is the other side. This area needs weeding really, but you can see that we now have this side of the fence, the gate. We've got more Herb Robert. I'll have to use that for tea, herbal teas. I need to do a bit of weeding here, but I like to keep the Herb Robert because it's good for herbal teas. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that I did actually cut a lot of this ivy out where this new apple tree is. I planted this new apple tree, Spartan. I'm hoping it survives. Prayers for this apple tree. It was clinging on to life in the shop. The others are all dead. I felt sorry for it, so I got this apple tree, Spartan, and hoping that it survives. But I did cut around and underneath. I cleared all the ivy out from around underneath. Yeah, so I wish this apple tree some luck. He's gonna need it. But his roots are in the ground now, so hopefully it will survive. I don't really think I've got anything to say now. I think that is about it. Red Bosscoop. We've got more strawberries here. I don't even know if I've got room to put them anywhere, to be honest, because I wanted to at least put sunflowers or sweet corn, or I may not even have room for even one pumpkin this year. sadly. We've got all these hornbeam. Yeah, doing a bit of a tour. I think we're going to end it soon. We've got these little young hornbeams. These are probably going to need to be potted again. And you can see here, that's actually a little birch come up in the pot. So we've got a little tiny birch in with this hornbeam. So hopefully we'll be able to grow that. These need repotting again. It would be nice if I could plant these. Sorry, the Wi-Fi dropped out. Away from the wall. Wi-Fi keeps dropping out. I've got 2 meters of garden missing there. But there is a border next to the wall, and it would be nice to use them hornbeam, if I can use them hornbeam, plant them, and eventually use them as a hedge to the south. But they're so small, and I'd have to get rid of all of this ivy, and that is literally a future project. I think that is it now. I think that is it. I think I've gone through everything I need to. I'm hoping for these broad beans to come up. I really want the broad beans to come up. I also want it to rain, because it hasn't rained for well over a month, maybe more, because I need more rainwater. But the greenhouse is almost finished. The slats, especially the staging is almost finished. Yeah. The slats are almost finished now. All the bottom ones have been fixed. All these bottom ones have been fixed. There's some spare timber there. Apart from that one, that's not fixed, and there's a bit of a gap. The ones on the top have been done, apart from this long one here and that long one there. Stained glass window goes there. They've been screwed in. Them ones have been screwed in. And them ones have been screwed down. It's just this centre section and a few other little bits that need doing. And I think that is about it, to be honest. I think I've pretty much updated all I can, and it will go up eventually. It will process and go up, and you'll be able to watch it from the beginning anyway. So if you weren't here earlier, you'll be able to watch it again in full. But yeah, as far as the greenhouse is concerned, it's just finishing the staging, some hooks for the lamp and coats, a coat hook, stained glass window, valancing on the top of that support there, and the Gothic cupboard. And then I think the next project may be the shed. We may completely rebuild or reimagine the shed to be sort of a outdoor potting shed. Outdoor potting shed, maybe have a mini fridge. There could be anything in there. And then 2 stained glass windows may end up built into it as well. Oh yeah, I'll show you some tiled stuff that I found that we may use to make the place for mixing the compost. I found this nearby. Part of someone's 1970s, 80s kitchen, I think. Now basically what we need to do, maybe cut a bit off there, a bit off the end, cut this in half. We'll have to see. It's going to need measuring up. We need to cut bits off of it, make it the right size, and then basically this will be what I use to mix up all my compost. So we've already got a compost mixing table to make up, but it's going to take some sawing, I'll tell you that. It's going to take a lot of sawing up. But this is really heavy. This thing is really heavy. But I think I'm confident we can turn it into a compost mixing table for the shed. So I'll miss that out. That is about it, I think. These will have to be moved somewhere. And I think we're good now. Oh. Let's see if I can do this without a disaster. Oh. Oh dear. Sit down. No, not allowed to sit down. I've got to move this shit along again. Oh. Oh, that is about it, I think. Oh. Lower the front down. Yeah. That is about it. I don't know if anyone's got any questions. There's only a couple of people on, but if you want to fire a question at DJ about the garden or gardening in general, anything, go ahead. There's only a couple watching, but anyway, that is about it. As I said, the video will process and it will go up eventually onto the channel, and you can watch the whole thing. It's likely that I'm gonna see if I can make a board up or paint a name, or maybe have someone make a board up. I might name this section of the garden the spindle or the spindles or something like that. It'll be a nice touch really. But we're almost there. What am I putting in the greenhouse? Well, initially I'm going to be centralising the cactus collection, because I've got a cactus collection. I haven't got as many plants as I used to have. The plants have suffered a bit really as of recent years, because they've all been separated between 2 or 3 different places. We've got a few plants here. We've got some at the allotment in the greenhouse there, and we've got more in the gaff where I live in the gaff. So we've got 3 lots of different cacti that need to be centralised, and they're being moved here. Seeds, it's too early to say with seeds. I need to find out what's actually happening once I've got all the cacti in, and see if I have room to grow anything else. If I have room to grow anything else, I more than likely will try and grow some seeds, maybe at the end of the season or maybe next season. I haven't got any tomatoes, I'll have to buy tomato plants in to grow them this season. The last couple of years I've grown by seed. Last year was very successful with the tomatoes, and as you know, I was watering them with purely spring water from Caesar's Well in Keston, and I've never tasted tomatoes like it, and the colours were so vibrant. Yeah, you say growing cacti by seed. I've done that before myself. I've grown cacti from seed. I've actually got a couple up here. Oh, if I can get to them. I actually had a shitload of these, but again, because now to look after my collection properly, the majority of them in time didn't survive, but now that they're here, if I can repot them, they should do alright. And I've got one at the allotment, they just need repotting properly, and that's Noto cactus, Hurteri, Roseolutus. So I've got a couple of these. They really need repotting into new compost, proper compost. And I've got another one over the allotment, which is a bit bigger and healthier than these. It's because these were moved to the gaff, and the other one is about that big. It's a lot bigger, and yet they're the same size. It's just that they weren't cared for as well as they could have been. But the flower on Noto cactus, Hurteri, Roseolutus is, I don't want to lose the roots, but it's very mobile in the pot. But I've literally been growing cacti since, what, 1993? I think it was 1993. I mean, I'd liked cacti and plants before then, 1991, 90, even before then. But in 1993 I joined the British Cactus and Succulent Society and the Ravensbourne Geological Society at the same time, basically. And I was too young. I think I was about 13 when I needed to be 15 or 16. But the two societies, they still let me in because I was passionate about cacti and geology, fossils. Being autistic, that's what happens. You have all these interests, but my interests were always nature and earth-based growth, nature and geology. I was always into stuff like that. So yeah, I've been growing cacti since 1993 basically. But it'll be really nice when the greenhouse is finished, all this staging is finalised, I can move all my collection into one place and I'll be able to look after them properly. Oh, that'd be really nice. Definitely. The cacti are getting in your hair. Oh, maybe they were Apuntes or something like that. I don't know. Mammillarias with the hooks. Yeah, not impossible. Some cacti have hooks, the Mammillarias especially. Or Apuntes, maybe cholla type plants. That kind of Apuntia maybe. Yeah. But first of all, it will be for finally giving my cactus collection a permanent home. There was a greenhouse here before. Yeah, you have to watch yourself. Yeah, definitely have to watch yourself. But yeah, it'd be nice to have it all in one place. And if I've got the room elsewhere, I'll be able to think about growing other plants in here too. But it's basically a nice warm place to chill, you know. Nice warm place to chill with Fermium. And if Mekety should turn up, I've not seen her for a few days, but if she manages to make her way round here, I've got the tin of Bickies for Fermium and Mekety if she should wander in off the streets. She's basically a wild cat. She's basically a semi-wild cat. Yeah. It would be nice to grow other stuff here, but we need to get compost in. Maybe make a couple of smaller little shelves low down either side of the door. The Gothic cupboard. We'll just have to see. I'll have to send a message to Tony Patience, see if he's coming round tomorrow, because he hasn't been here yesterday or today. Maybe he'll finish doing the work on the slats tomorrow in the greenhouse, and then hopefully do all the little bits, because we've still got parts of the greenhouse that we keep finding more and more little bits that weren't fixed to the greenhouse. We've got 3 internal brackets now. One that goes up there, and we've got one that goes in that end, and another that goes in that end. So 3 internal structure brackets that weren't installed. Yeah, it's more like a very light apple green, and before it was like a Lincoln green. It was darker, more olive, not olive as such, but more yeah, like Lincoln green. It's hard to, like a green olive, lot lighter. I actually preferred it that way, but Tony seemed to think that having it this lighter colour is better. I don't know why, but there's nothing wrong with it. Once these shelves have been fixed down, and maybe yeah, an old-fashioned colour. It was more like that kind of hue before, but now it's a bit lighter. We may end up varnishing it, I don't know, but we may be varnishing these slats as well. Not entirely sure yet. But it's only little bits now, or sealing these little gaps in the joints. We've got little joints where the frame went together. We've got a centimetre of air, basically. All these little cracks, they need filling up. Or down by the side of the door here, we've got down by the side of the door on the left and the right, there's about 5 millimetres of air in the gap. So we've got to find out how to seal them little gaps at the sides of the doors low down. It's just little fineries, tiny little fineries. But once all this is done, it's just little bits. We're almost finished with the greenhouse, pretty much. And you may have seen the videos earlier. We're literally waiting for crack to be removed. Then the base, the concrete base was being made, and then the brick. Remember videos of building the brick base, and the brick base was just filled with stuff. And then we've gone through the whole process of building this greenhouse up from scratch, and I've tried to do as many videos as I can to go through the process of it being built, the greenhouse, and now we've got to the point where we're building all the staging. Yeah. When it's finally done, all the tiny little bits have been sealed, all this frame, all the bits inside. Once it's all, the little bits are done, it'll be great. But the thing is, we spent so much money on the greenhouse. I can't fault the brick base. The brick base is single skin. It's not double, it's single skin. The base itself, 100%. I mean, I've got no complaints. But the amount of money we spent on the greenhouse, the installation, little bits will be missed continuously, and we were moaning, this little bit's missing, that there's 3 bits missing here. We had to put 3 on. One on the roof was completely missing and the glass was just lifting, so he had to come back and cut a piece and add it and knock it on. And then that section of the fence was missing because it fell down. They put it up and it didn't stick. It come unscrewed and fell down, so there was a gap there again, and we had to have him come back to screw that up and do the strip that was missing. And then we found out we got 3 internal braces that are still sitting there, and we got 3 finials. So we've got a finial at the front, 1 at that end, 1 at that end. I don't really know about calling them amateurs. They were recommended by the company to do the brick base only, but the problem is we need someone to build the greenhouse itself. The issue was that they'd never built a greenhouse before. There was nobody to build the greenhouse. There was only someone to do the base. The base itself, A1 perfect, but the same people had to build the greenhouse as well. And of course, they got paid £700 to build the whole greenhouse. There was something looked up, someone was contacted. They should have been charged £1,300 to build this greenhouse, but they didn't know. We'd already given the money for 700. The company that done the base and built the greenhouse, they actually lost money because they weren't quoting the right amount for building the greenhouse itself. So I done well out of it, but they lost a bit of money. So it's just the way it is when the company that provides the greenhouse doesn't build it all themselves. They send you all the bits. They expect you to fucking do it yourself, and it's just stupid. And I have to say, with the amount of money that we spent on the greenhouse, it was really expensive. The greenhouse is really expensive, not extortionate, but the quality, I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. I was actually slightly underwhelmed with the quality of the greenhouse, but after me and Tony finally do all the tiny little bits and the fineries on it, it'll be a lot better. But the thing is, we've had to seal up little gaps and bits and do bits of our own just to bring the standard of the structure up a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the greenhouse, just the amount of money we spent on it, slightly underwhelmed by it, but when me and Tony have done our part, there won't be anything wrong with it. It'll be great, definitely. And we're still doing the interior. But this is the big main update. Yeah. Oh, it is. It's supposed to be a modern equivalent of a Victorian greenhouse. So it's that shape. It's the Victorian shape of greenhouse. Only, of course, the metal frame and the glass is all modern, and it gives a hint of being Victorian, Edwardian. When we first considered putting the greenhouse in, yeah, rebuild it, oh dear. Yeah, when we first talked about the greenhouse, they were kept saying, oh, we get one like the original one, which was basically the triangle one like this, in profile, long. The previous one was a 1950s cedarwood Hall & Co. It was knackered. I mean, I could have rebuilt it, but it fixed it up, but it would just be like painting a turd, really. It's a shame because not all of it was rotten, and being it was cedarwood, it was holding up still, apart from maybe the roof. Yeah, like a wooden one, proper wooden one, but that one was 1950s. And I said, well, if we're getting rid of the old one, I want it done properly. I don't want one that we access from the north or the south, or like the last one. I want a proper one. So I thought, I want one that I can enter from the south, and that's what this is basically. You can walk into it this way. It's deeper. Yeah, asbestos isn't brilliant, to be honest. When I first took on my allotment, I got my allotment over there from 1995 until about 5 years ago. I had a shed there, and that was completely made of white asbestos. I mean, white asbestos is bad enough, but the blue stuff is deadly. I mean, the blue stuff is the one you want to avoid, and white is almost as bad. But I literally had an asbestos shed on my allotment for 22 years, and it took them years for the committee to go around the whole site and have it all removed. There's still some curved sections of asbestos on my plot, but that's blue. That's even more dangerous, and they didn't even take it. They should have taken it away. They didn't. Yeah, but like I said, you can't access this greenhouse from the east or the west. You have to access it from the south, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it accessed from the sunnier side, and it's bigger inside. It's a lot bigger inside, and height-wise, well, basically the sky's the limit as far as height is concerned. Robin's here now. Yeah. The slats, the majority of the slats on the east and west side, the lower and the higher shelves, we had to buy them in. We literally had to buy them in, so they did cost money. And literally 4 days later, after we bought the first batch, because it was a new, being April, a new tax year or whatever, the price of the wood went up by about £9 a bundle in 4 days. We bought one lot, 4 days later it's £9 extra. Wood panels, yeah. And we've got enough now. He had to go and get more wood, but we've got enough now. He's just got to finish it off, and we've ended up having to use just other pieces of random wood, and they're thinner and they're slightly wider, so they're not going to be as strong. But what we're going to do here in the middle is basically I'm going to have trays there, lighter trays, and it's going to be stock. So I'll have stock plants and stuff up the top there, lighter, smaller plants. Yeah. But literally the wood went up in price about £8 or £9 in 4 days. It was just crazy. Oh boy, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I'm not sure if you saw me talk about that apple tree. You may have been here when I pointed out an apple tree. Basically a shop in Croydon or in the centre of town. They got a load of fruit trees in right at the start of the season, probably about February, March, and nobody bought any of them. Yeah, you saw that. Well, I soaked the root ball for a couple of days and then I planted it yesterday, and I'm hoping that that apple tree will survive. I would have preferred another birch really, to have 2 birches, but I can't afford to spend another 75 quid on a birch tree. So I just got that cheap apple and put it in, and I'm hoping that it survives. I scratched the bark and it was green underneath, so I'm hoping that it will break open into bud once the water transfers. Yeah. And another thing is, I've noticed over the years, I mean, Lidl or in shops and stuff, the amount of flower and vegetable seed, and people just aren't buying seeds anymore. I think it's just that everyone is so stressed out, they don't have the time for gardens like they used to do, and just happier times then, and now it's just people are just too stressed, they don't have the time, they're too busy working their fucking arses off just to survive on the bread line. They don't have the time for the garden. So I've literally gone to these shops, there's just racks and racks and racks full of seeds that are not being bought, which is very sad really, because I've always been one for growing, and I'm going to keep doing it here as well. I'm going to try and source more stuff to bring in here. I want to try and bring some wild garlic, the oval leaf wild garlic. I might put it in that corner, or find some chives from somewhere, maybe plant some chives, flower seeds. If you've got the time and the room, I don't do it, but there just seems to be this thing in the UK, it's a bit of a struggle. People don't have the time, unless they're really hell-bent like me, really interested in it as a hobby. Yeah, that is it. I think that is it. I'm pretty much done now. I've just got to call up Tony P, see if he's coming back tomorrow or early next week to finish inside the greenhouse, and the cupboard will be another project, hopefully, that he can do himself. Oh, that's good news. You've got lots of room. I mean, growing your own fruit and vegetables now is literally a rebellion. It's literally a green revolution and a rebellion against the triangle toppers now, because they don't want us to be self-sufficient. It's in front of our eyes now that they've got an issue with us. But as long as I'm still breathing, I'm gonna keep growing plants, even if it's very limited amounts of veg and fruit. I'm still gonna do it. because it is a rebellion now, literally. Trees, yeah. That's what I've been doing pretty much all my life since 1999 anyway. I've been a tree planter and I just keep planting trees. And I planted another plum and a cooking apple at the allotment. I went over there yesterday and I literally was watering all them trees because we've had dry weather for at least a month. January, February were complete washout, and the ground over there was just it was wet, it was sodden, and then March has been dry, and then the beginning of April dry again. So we've had just over a month of nothing but blue sky. I mean, it's nice, it's not been too hot, so I've enjoyed it because it's been nice and sunny and not too hot at the same time. But I literally had to go over the allotment to water all my trees, especially my new fruit trees. Yeah, I've been much the same, but also cacti, flowers, fruit, and planting trees. And the allotment, I won't have any data coverage there to do a live video that I know of. I tried it and it kept cutting out and it was blocking. But especially the Mirabelle plum tree, I put a plum tree there that came from the ruined sports centre at Annerley, the graffiti walls at Annerley. I dug it up in 2010 and planted it at the allotment. That is, it may not be the second largest tree, but between the one at the tram stop, the one at the allotment, the one at the allotment is 2 foot high now. Maple at the tram stop, snakebark maple. We haven't had any frost either, which means all the blossom we've had, if we get rain later in the year, a Mirabelle, yeah, lovely little yellow plums, and I made jam out of them, plum jam. That's normally what I've done. I make jam out of them, but you can put them on flans as well. But I've never done them flan. I've only made jam with them, and I always thought it was a Mirabelle plum, even when I found it at Annerley and I planted it. The trunk now is about that on that plum tree. And I went to the garden centre at Mordenhall Park, National Trust Garden Centre at Mordenhall Park, and they were selling them Mirabelle plums. No. And I had a look at the ones they were selling, and the new growth, the new growth, the twigs, it was exactly the same as what I've got at the allotment, and that confirmed it as being a Mirabelle. So that was confirmation basically that what they were selling there was the same as what I got at the allotment that I grew. New garden centre, oh, very nice too, very nice too. Yeah, so very happy. But I've also got 2 other trees that I planted, and they're at 22 Nicholson Road. No, 3. I've got 3. I planted another birch at 22 Nicholson. The goat willow, which has turned out to be a bit of a thug really. It's getting a bit too big for its boots. Good tree. A birch, a goat willow, and another cherry tree, which is basically a sucker off the one out the front, and I've got another one out the front, but it went straight up. It was more of an upright growth habit, and that's at 22 Nicholson in Fiona's garden, Bitey Fiona. I need to get in contact with her at some point as well. So there's 3 trees that I planted at 22 Nicholson. Had to do without for a year. Oh, it must be really tough if you are literally a gardener or you're interested in gardening not to have a garden centre. place to get all your materials and plants. Yeah. And of course I've got the spindle here and the crabapple and the others that I've just planted. And the allotment is just like a fruit forest. That's basically what I'm calling it. I'm calling it a fruit forest. At this point, it's basically what it is. So I've basically been planting trees since 1997. Yeah, not ideal. That's what I do, and I think my affinity is bound to happen, but my affinities are nature and growth, basically wood. I think the Feng Shui did say sawn wood, but I'm more closer to growth and nature than sawn wood. But also I like earth and geology as well. I'm pretty grounded, so basically earth and growth and nature, that's my affinities, I think. I am a green man, basically. Like the Typo Negative song, The Green Man. Yeah. I'm glad you got your fruit trees, yeah. Yeah, lots of fruit trees. Make sure it's better to get bigger ones. I think maybe the fruit trees might be cheaper, bigger. I'm not sure. Not necessarily the normal trees. Normal trees here are quite expensive, but you might be able to get fruit trees a little bit cheaper. But I definitely recommend getting trees that are that little bit bigger, that have got a bit of a boost. You won't have to wait 10 years for them to fruit, maybe just 2 to 5. Hermione Fluffy. Yeah. Fluffy. Yeah. Fermium. He's already been out. He was out earlier today. You couldn't get big ones. That's a shame. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, here they are. You're either medium or larger size. When I went to the secret garden, I managed to get bigger trees. I got the Lord Derby cooking apple, the Avalon plum, and just the basic birch tree. But even when I looked at the birch tree, although it looked bigger and it's quite tall, it was still very thin. I mean, the thickest was about that. It was very, very small. But now that the birch has busted into leaf, I'm feeling a lot more confident, because I was worried. And the little Acer Baihu at the front. I do like growth. Yeah. I do like my plants. That's why the garden was a priority, and the greenhouse. And it's somewhere for me and Fermium to chill, you know, and relax. And that may end up an outdoor lounge potting shed. Boss Coop. Boss Coop. You're wrong. The Boss Coop is at garden centre then. Sometimes people order stuff. Boss Coop, internet dropped out. Boss Coop is the town, right? Yeah, the internet dropped out briefly. And I think probably going to end it there. I had to do a live video because I'm not going to have the room to do normal videos. Phone is chock-a-block as per usual. and I'm still backdated with Gar Online Zomg dev meat videos. It's just that I've been so busy with the garden in the greenhouse, I've not been able to think of anything else, just the garden in the greenhouse. So all I've really done video wise is videos of the dev meat on Gar Online, the little avatars in the game, and I'm still about 5 videos behind with them. So I thought I better do a live video, because that way I can get everything in at once. Everything. I might shut this down and go into town and get a coffee or something. Yeah, I know, yeah. I've still got more videos to go out of the avatar stuff, I'm afraid. It's for a particular community, and I'm at least 5 videos behind, but at least this live will go up and it will be public, so them videos will be broken up by at least one garden and greenhouse update video. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here now. I think I'm gonna shut down, get me walking pole, and I'll probably go into town and get a coffee and then come back here to Fermium and see what happens. It's probably about 4 o'clock, I would have said, here in UK. My guess anyway, 4 o'clock. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. Thanks to everyone for stopping by. Yeah, thanks to mine popping in. We're almost there, Look at that. Oh, that one disappeared. Yeah, we're almost done. Oh look, Robin's here. Yeah, Robbie. Yeah, Robbie. Robin's over there. He's after the mealworm. He's over there somewhere. There's a robin. So there is a little bit of bird life here. And we're going to end it here. Give us a thumb up if you like, and we'll probably going to be Gar Online dev meat vids. I'm afraid I'm behind with them, but until the greenhouse is mainly finished, I can't really think about doing anything else, and it also depends on my health, confusion, what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm gonna end it here now. Thanks for stopping by. We're almost there now. Almost done. How do I turn it off?